The fallout from European elections and the snap election call in France shocks the markets. Welcome to Market Insight. I'm Ramzan Karamali. Well, political uncertainty is certainly taking its toll today. The euro is down sharply, equities across the region are all suffering, and French bond yields are on the rise. Well, for more analysis on today's market moves and more, I'm joined by Jane Sydenham, investment manager from Rathbones. Jane, thanks so much for joining us. Well, how surprised were you by the reaction of the markets to the election results? And also, is this more to do with President Macron's call for a snap election in France?
I think it is. I think we also had, I think it's not just political. We obviously had some quite hot jobs numbers in the US on Friday, which have also set a bit of a tone. But the main issue is, that calling this snap election is an unexpected event. Markets never like that. They always react quite in a much sharper way than they would do otherwise.
Do you think it's been overcooked, though, the reaction?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, the French market opened down more heavily right at the beginning of the session. It's actually been picking up a little bit recently. And some of that actually probably reflects that Giorgia Meloni in Italy, who's also on the right, has actually really handled the whole question of the economy in Italy quite effectively. And I think there's a sense that just because a politician is on the extreme left or right, they don't necessarily do a bad job as far as the economy is concerned. What we've got to remember, actually, is that the stock market in the United States did quite well under Trump. And certainly, the Italian market's been doing reasonably well recently.
Many political analysts, though, think that President Macron is taking a bit of a gamble here. Will his gamble pay off in terms of the markets?
It is quite a gamble. He has no idea really how this is all going to work out. He's obviously trying to put the far right into a position where they actually have to govern and make decisions to demonstrate to the French electorate, how good are these people in government. But of course, that is quite a gamble. If they do a very competent job, he's going to have a tough time in 2027 when the general election takes place.
Well, turning to the UK now, and tomorrow we get labour market data. I'm guessing the most important number there will be the rise in wages. A Reuters poll has it coming in at 6%. Is that type of number likely to deter the Bank of England from easing rates?
Well, it is quite a high number, but I think what we've also got to remember is that the minimum wage is actually making up part of those numbers. And of course, that's spread out over a period of months. So it's naturally going to push the numbers a bit higher. And that's known. But nevertheless, if the number is significantly above that sort of level, then markets won't react well to it and it will delay interest rate reductions.
It's not the only bit of economic news we get from the UK this week. Get GDP numbers on Wednesday. What are you hoping to see there?
So it looks as though the number's going to be pretty flat for April. The first quarter of this year showed an increase of 0.4%. We're expecting an increase overall for the second quarter of 0.2%, but April's likely to be flat. And of course, what we've got to bear in mind is it was raining very heavily in April. Nobody wanted to go out and spend any money. So that might have an effect. I know that economists are always accused of using the weather as an excuse, but maybe this time, maybe it's valid.
Well, we've also got UK elections with just a month away now. We've got the Liberal Democrats who had their manifesto out today. We'll get Labour's out this week and also the ruling Conservative ones out as well. So how big a factor do you think economic policy will be in this election?
I think generally markets are reasonably relaxed about the policy because debt levels are quite high. The room for manoeuvre is quite limited as far as the economy is concerned. Everybody remembers what happened when, Liz Truss tried to do something more creative. So there really isn't much room. And I don't think markets are really anticipating a great deal of difference between the two parties.
Jane Sydenham from Rathbones, many thanks for your analysis. And that's Market Insight. Don't forget you can watch more videos on Reuters.com.